Southampton Board to order on this 28th day of December 2021. Please rise if you're able and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pause for a brief moment of silence. Remain standing as we keep in our thoughts and prayers all of the men and women of our armed services who defend our freedoms, but also in this almost 2 years of a pandemic that has taken the lives of over 800,000 Americans and I think 3 million plus people around the world. As we close out the year 2021, let's remember those who we lost. And again, just keep in our prayers all of our military personnel.
Jay, if I may ask you to please include our Southampton town historian, Henry Moeller, who passed away just recently.
Oh, I did not know that. And we also just recently lost Jim Drew, a former council person too. So
absolutely.
Let's include those in our moment of silence as well. Please be seated. All right, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Schneiderman.
Present.
Councilwoman Lofstad.
Here.
Councilman Martell.
Here.
Councilman Bouvier.
Here.
Councilman Schiavone.
Present.
All right, so we're all here, so we'll get started. I actually want to start today with a quick acknowledgement, a couple things, and we have a number of individuals who have served the town with distinction for many years, including our own Councilwoman Lofstad, who is leaving at the end of this year, our Highway Superintendent, Alex Greger, who I think has served the town for, I want to say 12 years. We have a new Highway Superintendent. We'll welcome in Charlie McCardle early next year. And Cindy McNamara to this board, Councilwoman McNamara. So we certainly thank them for their service. Julie, you're near and dear to us as a colleague, and it's been a real pleasure. I know this is your last meeting here. I wish it was in person, but at least I can see your smiling face through the computer. And we have a couple things. I have a proclamation that I want to present to you. It's a proclamation. It's sort of we're used to giving them. We're not used to receiving them. But, this is signed by the four of us other than you. And it kind of outlines some of the things in which the areas in which you distinguish yourself, such as, let's see, supporting regulations or restrictions on plastic straws and the unintentional release of balloons, establishing military service-related parking, designated parking, the military vet and veteran discount card, honor flights to Washington, D.C., the rebuilding of the Foster Avenue Park, the sponsoring of the Habitat for Humanity reuse program, the off-leash dog area in East Quogue. There are so many different things. That's just a few of the areas, but you have been a constant voice for working people in this community. You've always stayed true to what you believed was the right thing. I wish there were more people like you. I hate to lose a colleague like you who cares so deeply about their community and making sure that people have what they need. You care about the least among us as much as anyone else. So making sure that the food pantries are stocked and the buses are running or whatever the local community needs, you have been there. So I just wanted to personally thank you on the beginning of this last meeting Ryan, you also have something, and then I want to allow my colleagues to say a word too. So,
Yes, I as well. Julie, you've been a liaison to code enforcement and public safety for a number of years now, and even before my arrival here with the town. And it's absolutely been a pleasure working with you along the way. The input that you've been able to provide to us with regards to different, needs within the community has been very helpful in allowing us to better serve the residents of the town. So I wish we were able to give this to you in person, but I will get it to you. We have a little plaque here thanking you for your dedication to the town, as well as to the Department of Public Safety and Emergency Management. We will miss you. This is bittersweet. I'm happy to provide you with this plaque in recognition of your service, but I wish you were sticking around. So good luck to you, and thank you so very much.
Thank you.
so sorry that we have to embarrass you at the beginning of your last meeting. But,
That's okay.
Anybody else want to say a word before we get to the agenda?
I'd like to say something if I could. Julie, I first met you and worked with you when the Foster Avenue Playground Park was built the first time, which goes back quite a ways when I was in the Parks Department, and you were head president or geared up with the Hampton Bays Mothers Association, and you were making a difference in your community, a significant difference back then. And you never stopped, even before you became a councilwoman, and you just positioned yourself in a place where you could do even more for the community and the town as a whole. And it's been a pleasure to work with you. We've always appreciated your support. You're just a tremendous powerhouse of energy that, you put to great use. So it's been my pleasure, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Sunday.
I'd like to let others have the last word. So Julie, it's been an honor working with you, and it's kind of interesting to see your vantage point with the business that your family is in, being an offshore fisher person and family. That's been fantastic, and you've been an effective representative for the business community as well as your own community, and an effective council person. So I wish you luck in the future. I know we have not heard the last from Julie Lofstad, that's for sure. And so we look forward to working with you with whatever that is in the future. So well done.
Thank you, Tommy John.
I'll say, I know everybody, myself and everybody in our office, it's been an honor to work with you, Julie. I think the best thing, or thing I can think of is right away, is just, you're the real deal. You're from your heart, you're a real person. You do things for the right reasons, and I don't think there's anything better that you can say about someone like yourself.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Rick or John, you guys want to say anything before we get started?
So, Julie, if the plaque that you take home from all this would say one thing, it would say that you always did the right thing. I think that was your motto. You always took it from the heart, took it from the gut. I know you've taken some punches over the years, even from your fellow friends here in Hampton Bays, but you stood up and you fought back, and you did what you thought was right. And we really can't ask any more than that from a council person. And thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, Rick.
Well, Julie, I think everyone has said all the things that I certainly have in my head about you. I consider you a good friend. I'll miss those moments in our office when you got a minute, when we talk about things. I deeply appreciate your deliberative qualities. You epitomize public service, in my view. You hang up certain things at the door and just get down to work and roll up your sleeves. You ask questions. You have a great conscience. I think you epitomize what a council person should be. And I hope that future council people who might consider this in the future will look at your example and try to follow it. I just remember the one time when we really got to know each other, driving around, knocking on doors, and our two GPSs disagreed with each other. And I thought, well, this is going to be interesting, but I also learned to, put your attention elsewhere when we drove by a McDonald's or something like that. But I consider you such a good friend. I will deeply miss you, but I know your commitment to your constituency, our constituency, has never wavered, not once. And for that, I'm eternally grateful, and I'm sure they are as well. So while I'll miss you, I wish you good luck in future endeavors. I know we'll be talking a lot, as we always do, going into the future. Really best of luck. You will be missed, my good friend. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, John. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure working with you guys and the 2 previous boards I worked with. But I'd also like to say thank you to all our town employees, because they keep this town running through thick and through thin. And I think we can all see that, especially the last 2 years. And it's really been such an honor to serve the people of Southampton. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. All right, so one more item before we go to the agenda. I asked Ryan also to be here just to give us one more update, the last one of the year, on the pandemic. Everybody knows that the lines for testing have grown, the positivity numbers have grown, the number of people testing positive each day has been going up. So Ryan, what is the latest?
Well, I wish we were ending the year on a good note as far as COVID updates go, but unfortunately, we're not. The most recent average daily positive increases in the town fall somewhere in the range of about somewhere between about 102 and 115 people per day. That's the period from the 21st to the 26th, taking away for Christmas Day some of the numbers that wouldn't have had necessarily access to testing on that day. That leaves us at somewhere in the range of about 102 to 115 per day. Unfortunately, I think that number is going to go up. I think we're seeing that even, within our own, town staff. We're hearing from people that are returning to work today that may have had exposures over the last, few days with the holidays and stuff. People that had been around family members for the holidays who may have been asymptomatic then, but are now reporting to their loved ones that they have since begun to demonstrate symptoms and have gotten tested and have tested positive. So I think we're going to see those numbers continue to unfortunately go up, at least for the next, few days. And we also still have New Year's Eve in front of us. Unfortunately, I believe we're going to be looking at that as another day with increased, spread, that within, 3 to 7 days following that, we'll see, increases in numbers, as we have seen, in the past with holidays, anywhere from 3 days to a week after holidays for the last, year or so. We've seen increases in numbers because those are times when people gather. So this particular variant of COVID, this Omicron variant, is spreading quite rapidly. It is, clearly demonstrating to be a lot more contagious, if you might say, more transmissible than other variants have been. For the vaccinated individuals, the effects of it seem to be quite manageable overall, but it can still have quite devastating effects on unvaccinated individuals. So I think we're really we need to stress the importance of safety, following the precautions and, the mandates. Nobody wants to have to, keep wearing a mask. We all know that nobody's walking around saying, oh, this feels more comfortable, I like it this way. We get it. But if this is what's necessary to stop, the spread of the virus, then we really need people to heed those warnings and those mandates and actually pay attention to them. And, I think that there may be some people out there who had a bit of a wake-up call with the holidays. I would imagine that there are many people who thought that everything was going to be perfect going into the holiday that are now receiving phone calls or messages from friends and family members that they may have been around, indicating that, now they've come up positive or they may have been exposure. So hopefully some people's minds might be changed with regards to how they want to go about celebrating the new year. I know everybody would like to have a large, festive gathering, but we know that those are the breeding grounds for this virus. So we need to, just exercise caution. And if we're going to, be around other people, maybe keep that to a smaller gathering or consider some very, just within household celebrations. And hopefully if we practice those safety mechanisms, if we wear our masks, try and keep the gathering small, maintain our respiratory hygiene where we're covering our coughs and sneezes, washing our hands the way we've increased that washing them over the last year or so. Hopefully, if we do this again for just a bit longer, it'll position us well to maybe, get out of this and return to more of a normal again. But we really need to get past this. And the only way we can do that is if people try and keep those gatherings down a bit and wear the masks as they're supposed to, and get tested if you're not feeling well, to at least rule out whether or not it's COVID. This is flu season, and in our communications with the hospital, we know that the emergency department is seeing a lot of people coming in with flu as well. So it may not be COVID, it may be flu, but the only way you're going to know that is if you get tested and get checked out, right? So we know that there are waits for testing.
Yeah.
And we're trying to work on that right now. The county, I expect we'll see a release coming out later, that they're going to be shifting the Monday testing from the Gabreski site into Red Creek Park. So I expect that going forward for the next 2 months, we will have 10 to 6 Monday testing available. And I just got a notice while I'm saying this, that the county just released a press release advising that the testing has shifted to Red Creek Park. So right on cue. The testing that they were doing at Gabreski is going to be moving to Red Creek Park on Mondays, and we are in conversation with the hospital, and I'm hoping that we can spin up by next week as well to try and have that site used at least another 2 days of the week. My hope is that we can have Monday, Wednesday, Friday testing there, but for right now, as far as the public is concerned, Mondays will be testing days. That's a partnership between the town and the county. They're using their testing services from Baseline Health that they've entered into an agreement with. I'm putting together board, just so you know, I'm working on the draft right now, and we'll catch that up to this. It's kind of an emergent scenario where we want to make sure that testing is available as soon as possible. But I'm putting together the draft to just enter into the agreement with the county for the purposes of them using that facility similar to what we had done with the hospital in the past. But we're hoping to increase testing availability for people within the town. We know there have been long waits at many testing sites. I expect that we're going to continue to see a large demand for testing in the coming weeks, if not up to the next month and a half or so. The experts in the medical field are still trying to hopefully predict that this might peak out later in January, and then hopefully the numbers will fall off at the rate that it's spreading. And let's hope that holds true, but we need everybody to play their part in trying to stop the spread.
So, Ryan, just to clarify that the Gabreski testing site, which was open yesterday, I know they were inundated, will not function after today. It will move to Red Creek Park next Monday, 10 to 6.
That is accurate. Yes, yes, it's been officially announced. It will be moving on the 3rd to Red Creek Park as of that day, so that we can accommodate people a little bit better. My understanding is that they did about 600 or so people at Gabreski yesterday, and the logistics of that site just are not so conducive to the volume that they were doing. Whereas at Red Creek, the pathway that we can work there with the kind of one way in, one way out, looping around as we've done before with testing, the long driveway in to allow for cars to be able to queue up without blocking the roadways is a bit more conducive to the volume that they saw at Gabreski the other day.
All right, thank you, Ryan.
Ryan, the CDC changed their guidance in terms of quarantining. So now it's, if you test positive, it's a 5-day quarantine. If you're asymptomatic after 5 days, you can return to work, but you're supposed to be masked for another 5 days, correct?
Yes and no. They changed it for, we're back to kind of essential versus non-essential categories, and we haven't officially adopted any kind of a shortening of the 10-day quarantine for town employees yet, although we will be evaluating that. The New York State Health Department released guidance on this yesterday in line with the CDC's recommendations. And for essential employees, the employer can bring them back if staffing shortages are causing a critical shortage for them, can bring them back as soon as 5 days. But there is an appendix to that clearly defines which occupations fall into that category. As you can imagine, it certainly covers the medical professions, but also goes into your police and fire, but it goes on to recycling and transfer station type employees, snow removal. It identifies the different job functions or categories that would fall into the new guidance for the possibility of shortening. And what I believe it really does is it gives the employer the ability that if there's a critical shortage to bring the person back sooner. It's not necessarily like a mandate that they have to do that. It just gives the option there based on what they're seeing with regards to the spread, severity, and transmissibility periods of the current Omicron variant, which seems to be the dominant strain that's affecting most people lately. They've made some slight modifications, and we're also seeing, obviously, nationwide a lot of medical professional shortages, and this is to take some of that into consideration. If you remember back to earlier in the pandemic, at different periods, they actually allowed COVID positive medical personnel to work if they were asymptomatic. And what I think we're on the borderline here is where we have staffing shortages in different places, and they've amended the guidance to be able to get people back to work faster.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Any other quick questions for Ryan? All right, well, thank you, Ryan, for the past year, actually 2 years now, of keeping us up to date on COVID. There's been so many different changes. Who would have thought we would be still talking about it? But unfortunately, we are. Okay, I want to add 2 walk-ons to the agenda. First one is 39064. It's the 24th warrant. And 39215, it would authorize the supervisor to sign a license agreement with Manna at Lobster Inn to allow for the placement of a sign on town-owned property. So we need 4 out of 5. So I'll make a motion to walk those 2 resolutions on to the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor? All right.
Aye.
All right. Okay. So 5 out of 5. All right. So we'll take those up at the end. All right. So next, I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular town board minutes from the meeting of December 14th, 2021.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the minutes are approved. All right. Madam Clerk, would you read the communications?
Certainly, the following communications have been received in my office of the town clerk. We received public notices from the Village of Sag Harbor, a public hearing notice, New York State Liquor Authority 30-day advance notice to local municipalities, change of class application, renewal applications from the listed entities. We have received letters, emails, and land use applications regarding the following: Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act, Planning Board matter of regular 3, Division 2, Great Hill Road, proposed medical marijuana dispensary legislation, proposed Verizon cell tower in Sag Harbor, Conservation Board application for a wetlands permit on Mill Pond Road in Watermill, and zoning board application for Atlantic Golf Club, Inc. on Scuttle Hole Road in Bridge, Hampton. The following bid openings took place on December 22nd for dry cleaning and laundry services, maintenance on trails in Southampton, and window decals and permits. And that concludes the communications for this meeting's agenda.
All right, thank you, Sunday. All right, so we're going to move on to public hearings. We have 2 public hearings scheduled for this afternoon. We will allow people to be heard. They'll have to click the raise hand icon at the bottom of their screen, and they'll be given 3 minutes to make their comments known. Sunday, would you read the first public hearing notice?
Certainly. Public hearing number 1, to consider amending chapter 254 of the Town Code of Southampton entitled Peddling and Soliciting.
Okay, and then the second public hearing is also sort of related to this, but we'll do them one at a time. But I'll ask Sean Cambridge, who's Assistant Town Attorney, to introduce us.
Good afternoon, Supervisor Shmeda and members of the town board. These 2 public hearings are essentially some housekeeping to update our town code section to the practice that is required in applying for a peddler's permit, as well as to reassign appeals from denials to the Public Safety Commission. And the reasoning for that is currently appeals go to the town board on a meeting like this one. These are appeals that are usually based on things that are kind of private in nature, a criminal record perhaps, something that would be a reason to be denied a license for a peddler's permit. So essentially, like I said, this is really housekeeping. This is specifying the procedures, what's required in applications, closing a couple of loopholes that would allow corporations to be treated differently than natural people, and to get fingerprints from the right sources. So that's essentially what this does. The first public hearing is about the section itself. The second public hearing is to give the power to the Public Safety Commission to hear the appeals. And I'm here for any questions. Should you have any, I think we can go ahead.
All right, any questions for Mr. Cambridge? Okay, we'll go then to the public. If you wish to be heard at this public hearing regarding peddlers licenses, you need to click the raise hand icon. On my screen, it's in the bottom right. And Charles, is there anyone
I see no
who
hands.
wishes to be heard? Again,
Going
only for this one public hearing. We'll have other opportunities.
I
for
do
people
see a
to-
hand.
Was that?
I do see a hand.
Okay.
Rita,
I thought that was for public portion, but we will double check.
I would also.
Okay.
You have to put your video on, Rita.
Yeah, you'll have to unmute, Rita. I just want to make sure, though, that,
Unmute, we're good.
okay, and you wanted to speak on the hearing related to peddling permits?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No.
No. You
Yeah,
misunderstood.
I
I'm
dialed by
sorry. Okay,
accident.
then invite us later then. Okay, we're here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, it's a different subject. Okay, sorry about that. Thank
No,
you.
no problem.
Okay.
Okay, so any other individuals, Charles, indicating that they want to be heard at the peddling license
No,
hearing?
sir.
All right. I think we should leave the record open, though, for written comments, so maybe we can close this and leave the record open for 7 days. Jim, does this need to be left open? That means we won't be able to vote on it today. But
This year.
There was no resolution prepared to vote today. It's on for the next regularly scheduled meeting. We were going to give, if the town board's inclined, give the authority to Public Safety Commission today, have that recorded, and then on the next meeting, have this as a vote.
that's fine. I think that's okay.
Just, I'm a little confused because I thought I'd seen a reso on or in our packet.
That's for the
about-
Public Safety Commission to have the authority. That's the second hearing.
No, I thought there was a second one too. No, never, if we come to it, we'll just move on.
All right, so I'll make a motion to close the public hearing, leave the written record open for 1 week.
Second,
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier, all in favor?
aye.
Aye. All right, so we'll move on to the second public hearing. Sunday?
Public hearing number 2. To consider amending chapter 19-5 of the Town Code of Southampton entitled Public Safety Commission Powers and Duties.
All right, this has already been explained. It just gives the Public Safety Commission the ability to hear appeals of denials for peddlers licenses, correct, Sean?
That's correct, Supervisor.
All right. All right, is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this second public hearing? This is about the Public Safety Commission and their ability to hear appeals of denials of peddlers licenses. Please click the raise hand icon if you want to be heard on that subject. Charles, do we have anyone?
I see no hands.
All right, I will make a motion to close. This one will close completely so that we can vote on the resolution that's in the packet. So I'll make a motion to close.
Second,
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay, the hearing is closed. Okay, now we will move on to public portion. I believe this is where Rita had wished to be heard. During public portion, you can approach the board about any subject that you wish. So again, 3 minutes are given to each person to make their comments known. And we do ask you to click the raise hand icon. We'll take Rita first and her husband. So
Thank you.
yeah, go ahead, Rita.
Okay, so let me put my husband. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Hi, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Let me tell you what my frustration. I'm the resident of the Southampton watermill for almost 11 years, all right? And I choose this place to be my retirement in order to retire in Florida or in a different state. I'm a New Yorker, and this is the best place to retire. But I got frustrated of the management of quality of life in watermill specifically. If you remember, Mr. Schneider, we talked the same way a couple of months ago, and I raised a couple of issues, and I went myself 2 years ago, collect about 25 signatures about do something regarding Cobb Road, because Cobb Road became auxiliary highway to 27. People have no patience to wait because there's a light down on the road. So they're cutting through with any vehicles, small or big. And this really not quality of life, especially when they stop on the West Cobb Road in Cobb at the stop sign. And when the landscaper stopped, you know what they have behind the truck? Thousands of pieces of small equipment, and they're all jammed. It's like a train hitting this stone wall. So, you know, I consider Hamptons, not me, everybody in the United States like to live here because the air is beautiful, agriculture is beautiful, it looks beautiful, maintained, but we have a lot of issues to be resolved about getting Cobb Road, normal road. It's not even, I don't know how people allow it to have commercial traffic. It's very narrow. West Cobb, you know, if I go in another car across me, I stop because it's very narrow road. So this is my petition with 25 people's signature when addressed to Mr. Gregor. He listens to me carefully, put it in the folder, and no respect, no response, and even respect. This is about 27 traffic. If Mrs. Schneiderman, you recall, I talked to you guys regarding
Yes.
landscapers.
I remember you invited me to your house, so I
Yeah,
remember.
anytime. My gate is open, of course. You ride the bicycle here.
I do.
So we all understand we have to maintain the lawns and property inside and outside. This is beauty of everything. But one day I woke up about 7:30, 7:45, and I thought something wrong with my house. My house always went up like 20 feet. I went to my neighbor, Mr. what's his name, Jeff Goldberg. Three blowers, size of my agent, was blowing in different directions. Can you imagine 3 blowers next to my property there? I really went crazy. So I called Mr. Goldberg. He told me, okay, Mr. Rock, if you're there, I tell my people not to do this. First of all, it's hazard for our life. It's a noise pollution and air pollution. 3 blowers can blow my house in half an hour.
Sometimes there are 4 and 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I saw 3. You know what? They don't care because they got earplugs, because noise, they cannot tolerate the noise. So why I should be sacrificing, paying 40,000 real estate taxes, living on the highway? This is not fair. You promised to do something. We like to live here.
Landscapers, at least,
Landscapers, you know what, let's put it this way, they're all people who has no culture of what they do. If they have a culture, they do nicely, correctly, sometimes by hand. And I remember, Mr. Schneiderman, you made some statement about new regulation to have electrical blowers so they can do less noise. And I heard this not went through the board. I don't know what reason this not went to the board. I really don't care. It's electrical, but not gasoline, because gasoline, I'm telling you, it's creating noise pollution and air pollution. This is how I will talk about green. It's not green. It's brown. It's brown. So quality of life, it's not there. I came from influential area in New Jersey, Alpine. The landscaper work from 8 to 5. If you cannot afford, not everybody can afford landscaper, the owner of the property can cut the grass on a Saturday, single mower, 1 blower from 9 to 12. Saturday, people come to relax because we work very hard. And we deserve to be relaxed. I'm already 75-year-old, and this is my retirement house. And when people start blowing the leaves, I'm taking my car and I go shopping. This is not right for us. It's not fair to us. All right, this is issue which is concerned about Cobb Road. Let me ask you a question. And you did promise. I'm here for 11 years. I'm resident over here. I should park the car. I pay the fee. Of course, I have discount because I'm senior citizen. But our beaches, in shape like used to be 11 years ago, still the same. You go to East Hampton, beautiful walk, the chairs, something look like a town, and the mayor and the supervisor care about the people who come to the beach. Oh yes, we did some renovation. We put something handicap ramp around the bathroom. That's what we did for 11 years. Guys, we pay, not why I should pay for parking. If I pay, money goes to the government. Government has to do something to the people who can sit. There's no place to sit over there. If I don't bring my chair, I can sit in the sand. So I can go to the beach without paying. You get the same service.
You go to what,
Flying Point Beach. Flying Point Beach.
Flying Point
Beach. My beach.
Yeah, we are doing some work over at Flying Point Beach, but you're looking for some benches to sit down on. Right?
Listen, I'm not looking. I'm telling you, the small country like Israel, they have along the road to the beach sport facilities, benches, people can exercise. You feel a community. You feel something invites you to go to the beach. And sometimes I tell you know what? I don't want to go to the beach because it's not facility. Once in a while, trucks come to sell ice cream. This is normal. This is okay. But something has to be done similar to East Hampton. People come, have a little boardwalk, some planks over there. They're sitting over there reading the newspaper. Not everybody can carry the chairs. Some people can buy food, so they can get chairs. Something could be done to improve quality of life in the Hamptons. It's very important.
I've let them go for 6 minutes because there's 2 people involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
I'll
you have
defer
to
to you
regulate
now.
the time of the landscapers. If they blow the leaves, cannot have 3 blowers at the same time.
All right,
And
so
I
let
really
me,
insist to have electrical, so we save environment as far as noise in air pollution.
all right, so let me just talk for a second here.
Please.
So first of all, the park benches shouldn't be so hard to do at Flying Point Beach. We are doing a lot of renovations. We're redoing that little pavilion and bathrooms there in the parking lot and the stand at that facility. We have been investing in our beaches throughout the towns and providing additional amenities. So that's an easy lift. We can certainly, and I'll kind of kick that one to Rick, who's been liaison to parks to try to, and John as well, to try to see if we can get some park benches over at Flying Point Beach. That should be easy. The leaf blower, we have talked about that in the past. That is something I think Councilman Bouvier is bringing forward in the new year. And Councilman Schiavone, they've both been working on leaf blower legislation. So I know that's going to be debated. And if you have feelings about that, you should certainly come and speak at those public hearings. John, what's your estimated introduction of that leaf blower law?
We have a work session scheduled for I think it's the 26th. That's the end of this month. And then an explanation of the law, and depending on the feedback we get from that, the law's already been developed. It's very similar to other laws in other municipalities for a couple of reasons. One is that the enforcement of the law is easily recognized by all the businesses. They're used to it. That was one of the reasons. It also mimics a state law, which is still pending in the legislature, which should come down pretty soon, so that there's an easy transition. There's no surprises to anybody. Mr. Castleneck, I really understand what you're saying. This has been legislation that's been pending for quite a while out of our sustainability committee. It will be presented on, I believe it's the 26th. We only have 2 work sessions this month, so I believe it's the 26th or 27th, whatever we have.
This month, John, you're talking about January, right?
January, this month, well, this coming month.
This next month, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We're still in December. So, all right. So you might want to, follow along, Mr. Castleneck, so that you can participate in that process. And the other item you mentioned, traffic, it continues to be a real problem, not just on your street, but on many streets. I know people on Little Cobb Road there too, who everybody turns right there. And I know I'm guilty of it too. When I go down on the end of County Road 39 and make that left by what's now the Lobster Roll Restaurant, used to be the diner. If I see the traffic backed up, I go straight on Flying Point Road and drive right past your house. So
I don't mind your bike. Cars, problem.
so we do, on the positive side, we have been trying to get permission to blink that light at Soul Cycle, the old Blockbuster, if you know, up in Watermill, with the hopes, at least in the morning, of allowing that traffic to get through there much quicker. We do have a new highway superintendent starting January 1, a guy named Charles McCardle. I think you'll find him hopefully more receptive than the outgoing highway superintendent. And he has committed himself to try and address some of these traffic backlogs. The police chief Skrinicki, is committed to try and address these backlogs. And if we can work with New York State and the county, in that case, New York State, because that intersection is a state road, then hopefully we'll be able to get the traffic flowing. Nobody wants it more than me. It is unbearable, the backlog in the morning and the afternoon, and it's really impacted the quality of life for so many people. So we're going to keep trying. I'm sorry that we have not succeeded yet in getting that light either removed or on blink or something to keep the traffic flowing in there, but we're not going to give up the fight here. So that's it. Those were your 3 issues. We appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us. And Our doors are open if you want to see us individually. We do
Please,
have,
can
yeah.
we start landscaping by 9 o'clock, not 7:30, 8 o'clock?
well, the law regarding the gas leaf blowers,
Yeah.
we're gonna debate the law, and those will be some of the things that we debate. When can you use a gas leaf blower? What days can you use them at all? On the weekends, if so, what hours during the week can you use the noisy leaf blowers? Will there be different rules in the summer than in the off season? That's all something that we're going to be debating. John, maybe if you want to give him a copy of the bill that you're working on.
It will be presented at the work session.
What's that date? The 26th?
26, it's Thursday. I'm not sure if it's 26th or 27th. I don't have a calendar in front of me.
All right. So, John, if you could try to get Mr. Kastelik a copy of it when it's available.
Absolutely.
All right. So, I'm sorry, we're going to have to move on to the
Okay.
next speaker. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you. So I hope the next session will have positive result of our video conference.
All right.
Thank you. Happy
Thank
New Year.
Happy New Year to you. All right. So, who's
Bye.
next? Is it Kelly Dodds?
That's correct.
All right. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, how are you? I'm Kelly Dodds. I live on Noyak Road, just outside of Sag Harbor. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm also the founder of the Sag Harbor American Music Festival. I have 2 kids at Sag Harbor Elementary, and I'm also a member of SAFE in Sag Harbor on the board. So I sent letters to each of you, or emails, I should say, regarding the MRTA, the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act. And it's my understanding, from reading statements from the supervisor that the council does not plan on voting on opting out or opting in, just to sort of let the clock run down and then automatically be opted in to having retail sales, commercial cannabis as opposed to medical, but also cannabis lounges, whatever that means. So I just want to say up front, to reiterate from my letter, cannabis sales are going to be legal. It's legal to smoke. It's legal for people to have it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my concern about public safety. And I feel that it would be best if this council could take a pause, like many of the villages and municipalities within the town have done by choosing to opt out, to wait and see what the Office of Cannabis Management decides to do as far as regulations. Their website has very little information. They just basically say, come back and look for more information, and potentially there won't be any licenses available to 2023. We have no idea. So I don't see why we don't take a pause. Regarding safety, I think we can all acknowledge that the legalization of marijuana in New York State is a huge shift in public policy, right? That's not an argument, it's huge. And it's gonna have an equally big impact on our community. And one of the issues, there's many issues I'm concerned about, but one that I'll focus on, because we can sort of look at, say, drunk driving, right? How many years it took to raise awareness about driving while drunk and impaired, and how that affects not just the person driving the car, but it puts other people at risk, people who are pedestrians, bicyclists, whatever. Same thing with texting and driving, it's an uphill battle. Right now, driving while under the influence is not enforceable unless we have a drug recognition expert to hand. And as far as I can see online from the state's website, the entirety of Southampton town has only 2 drug recognition experts as of right now. Perhaps you're planning to bring on more, but I imagine that would take time to recruit, to train, to hire, and it would be a significant cost, to the town that I'm sure would offset any revenue that might be gained by, taking that tax revenue from the sales at retail stores. So I'd like to know, what is your plan for drug recognition experts? How do you plan on informing the public and reminding them that, yes, while it is legal that you can smoke marijuana right now, right, anywhere that you can smoke tobacco, it's not legal to smoke marijuana in your car. Like I said, I live on Noyak Road, and I stand outside with my kids in the morning waiting for the school bus. And let me tell you how many people drive by that stink of marijuana, their cars, as they're my kids comment on it all the time, and they don't even know what that is. But they can tell by the smell of it that it's something strange. What is that? Especially when the traffic's really backed up and then they're just parked right in front of my driveway. But I know I only have 3 minutes, so I'm going to keep going. So what do you plan to do about DREs to enforce this? Because I'm sure it's going to be a huge impact, especially if we're selling marijuana in the town. People are going to be driving home with it. Are they going to be smoking it before they get in their cars? What do we plan to do about that stuff? Why don't we wait for regulations from the Office of Cannabis Management? What is the rush? I don't understand. Is it worth putting people at risk to earn potentially, it was said, maybe 1 or 2 million in revenue, but I'm sure that revenue will be eaten up significantly by law enforcement and anything else that we need to put into place. My point is really just, let's take some time. Why, as a community, why can't we just take a pause, wait and see what the state regulations are, and then have discussions about it, right, with everyone? I'm not here to impinge on anyone's rights. Like, do what you want in the privacy of your own home if you're an adult, and anywhere you can smoke tobacco, that's fine. But I don't see why we need to rush into this. And as far as, the argument I've heard about there's only a limited amount of licenses, if we don't opt in now, we're going to lose out on that. There's nothing published in the Office of Cannabis Management that says there's going to be a limit on the amount of licenses. All that it says there is that 50% of the licenses will go to social and economic equity applicants. So, so that's that. And I'd also like to know if any other council members would like to weigh in on this, since there wasn't a public hearing and you're choosing not to take a vote. Could you make a statement for the record about your support, or if you support or if you don't support opting in? I'd really like to hear from you. Thanks.
30 seconds.
All right, thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
So I don't know if anybody wants to respond. Certainly, this is not the time for asking the board for responses. This is the public's portion. So Kelly, you certainly can reach out individually to any town board member to ask them their opinion.
So is there, you're not going to answer about the drug recognition experts, or what your plan is for that, or how much it will cost?
Sure. I'm working with the police chief on that. We may train additional individuals. I think that's an important point you brought up. Certainly there are people driving under the influence of alcohol or marijuana now. It is, with alcohol, it's pretty simple to do a breathalyzer test. They haven't developed a sophisticated tool yet with marijuana. We know the use is, pretty substantial already, even before it became legal. Now it's legal, and it could lead to increases in consumption. If people are able to procure it, which they seem to be able to, they can possess it legally now. So I think that's a good point. It's a police matter. And, it's something I'll work with law enforcement on, in increasing the number of people who are trained and have whatever equipment is needed to do that. So, but thank you for that.
Sure. Is there a reason why the council decided not to vote on it?
I don't believe there was no one introduced a resolution to opt out. I suspect because there probably wasn't 3 members willing to opt out. So I think it was complicated by the fact that the Shinnecock's broadcast very early that it would be available in the center of the town. And that, there would be that cannabis would be available easily in the town and quite affordable because they don't have the sales tax associated with it. As you know, Riverhead did not opt out, Brookhaven did not opt out, and Babylon did not opt out.
Well, Babylon was a tie, apparently, but Southampton Village did opt out, West Hampton Village, Quogue, Sag Harbor. I mean, it's not like everyone's gung-ho about this. Do you want to make a comment about that?
It's a lot of differences of opinion. A lot of people have feelings in all different directions on this. It's a democracy, and the way the state legalized marijuana, right? It's certainly legal for anyone now to have it.
Right.
And to use it, anyone over 21. So that wasn't a local decision. The only question was whether it would be for sale locally. And the board decided to allow it to be for sale, to not opt out, and we would handle it through zoning restrictions and regulations. And that's something right now, if you wanted to open a dispensary, you could not open a dispensary. There's no
Correct.
allowed zoning category, and the Cannabis Control Board haven't promulgated the rules. So this is something that's probably not going to be available for at least a year. And the town gets to decide the zoning. We get to decide the setbacks from schools and playgrounds and parks and libraries, and where it will go, and hours of operation. All of those things are something that's going to be debated, and I encourage you to participate in that debate. And anybody else who wants to comment can, but again, this is a public portion. It's really, we don't typically, have a back and forth here. You make your comments to the town board, and we move from speaker to speaker.
I see. I thought after you made a response to the last speaker, that was how you handled things.
Well,
Sorry.
I chose to try to answer the person's questions.
Right.
As
Okay,
have
so
with-
I understand that. Thank you.
As I have with you, Kelly. So
I appreciate your time, everyone. I want to wish you happy holidays, happy new year, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more from me and others. Thanks.
all right, thank you, Kelly. All right, is there anyone else who wishes to be heard?
I see no other hands. Oh, now I do. Eleanor. Coming in now.
Oh, Elena. Elena, you're muted. You're gonna have to unmute.
Got it.
Hi, Happy New Year, Elena.
Thank you very much. My husband would like one of those buttons. How does he get one?
What kind of buttons?
The mute button.
The mute button. So she said.
Got it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate the fact that you are finally having a discussion on this MRT consideration. By having this discussion today, you, our town officials, are considering what the community wants before the binding December 31st deadline. In this case, town officials, you guys, may be considering opting out. And therefore, you have to consider, I'm really proud of you for even considering opting out, because you don't want to be bound by some kind of law that you might regret later on. That's the beauty of this particular law, the way it's written. I don't like other parts of it, but you don't know what the state will mandate. So then why say, yeah, we'll do it, when you can't get out of it later on? It's just common sense to look at every aspect as you look at other laws prior to accepting this MRTA full hog. We don't know what the impact will be. Opting out now is, as Kelly had said, a pause button. And then we can wait for the crucial regulations that the state will provide. Opting out gives the town some options. Isn't that good? How nice. If you look at the negative impact of accepting the MRTA law, studies have shown that where marijuana use is legal, there's at least a 25% increase in marijuana use disorder in young people 12 to 27 years of age. In places where marijuana sales are allowed, there's an increase of abuse within a 4-mile radius. Well, guess what? I'm sure somehow Noyak Road will be in that 4-mile radius. And you know, I've spoken enough about Noyak Road. You know my position on that. I mean, we've got to tackle that road to begin with. Let's not throw more drivers driving high on Noyak Road into the mix. Property values fall 3 to 4% in areas in close proximity to marijuana dispensaries. Property values, interesting concept. So why allow, excuse me, MRTA to be passed in the first place? Our neighbors, East Hampton Town and Sag Harbor, for instance, have opted out already. That should send a strong message. I mean, they've looked at the pros and cons. I believe that the residents of Southampton Town need more information. That's why we need to opt out now. I fully agree with what Kelly had said. And I really applaud all of her investigation and research into this. I'm asking you today to please take a stand for public safety. And today, please make a resolution to opt out. Okay? The 31st is only a few days away. Let's not bind ourselves to something we may regret later. Thank you very much for your time. And again, Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year.
Thank you, Elaine.
All right, is there anyone else, Charles? Any other hands?
There are no other hands.
Going once. If you want to be heard, you got to click that raise hand icon on your screen. Going twice. Going 3 times. Charles, anybody indicating they want to be heard?
No, sir.
All right, I'll make a motion to close public portion.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, public portion is closed. Okay, we're going to move on to the main agenda. First resolution is 1230, offered by Councilman Bouvier.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1230, accept donation to Community Housing Opportunity Fund from Camino Gardens Limited.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. All right, 1231 of 21, authorized supervisor to sign intermunicipal agreement with Sag Harbor for fire marshal services.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1232, authorized supervisor to sign amendment to contract with York Labs for the Hampton Bays Water District.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. 1233 of 21, authorized supervisor to sign contract extension for liquid propane gas with Starlight Propane Gas Corporation.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1234, authorized the supervisor to sign a contract extension with Mercury Marine for Mercury Marine parts.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1235, authorized supervisor to sign contract with LM Co. Services Incorporated.
Second. Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1236, Councilman Schiavone, is to authorize the supervisor to sign mortgage satisfactions on community development block grant loans.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 1237 of 2021 to authorize the purchase of a 2022 Tahoe, SSV from Deneuer Chevrolet Incorporated from the New York State OGS contract.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1238, authorize the supervisor to amend a consulting contract with H2M Architects, Engineers, Land Surveying, ATAL to provide on-call engineering services to the Hampton Bays Water District.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Resolution 1239 of 21, authorize the supervisor to execute a 2022 cooperative agreements with neighboring villages for the town to provide shared computer services.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1240, co-sponsored with Councilman Bouvier, authorize the supervisor to execute a contract extension for irrigation maintenance and repair with Burn and Son Irrigation Incorporated.
Second.
Seconded by
Hi,
Councilman
this is
Bouvier.
Elena Loretto, Loretl. My husband's prescription, his name is Thomas by any
Oh, that's
chance.
a lot.
Elena, you need
I
to
got it.
mute your
I got it.
computer.
I got it.
Okay.
All right, so thanks.
Sorry.
thank you. So we were on resolution 1240. Do we have a
Yes.
second?
We have John Bouvier.
John Bouvier seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. All right, 1241 of 2021. Authorize the supervisor to execute a contract extension with J&B Auto Salvage, Inc. for removal of abandoned junk and decommissioned vehicles.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
On Board Resolution 2021-1242, to authorize the supervisor to execute a contract extension with Zero for the supply and distribution of garbage bags.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Resolution 1243 of 21, authorize the supervisor to execute a donation agreement with Marcus Henya, member of Boy Scout Troop 483 in Hampton Bays, for donation to build a butterfly garden at Good Ground Park.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone, who's also the co-sponsor of that resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approved. Resolution 1244 of 21, co-sponsored with the entire board, authorizes the supervisor to execute a lease renewal agreement with the Suffolk County Office for the Aging for a 14-passenger bus.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 1245 of 2021 to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Questica Incorporated for the upgrade of Questica software.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
On Board Resolution 2021-1246, to authorize the supervisor to execute an extended consulting agreement with Peak Power Long Island to assist in developing education outreach, sustainability, and waste management programs.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1247, authorize the supervisor to execute an extension with Great Northern Fibers LLC for private or municipal markets for the disposal and recycling services for mixed paper and corrugated cardboard.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town
Approved.
Board Resolution 2021-1248, authorize the supervisor to execute an extension with Spectre Manufacturing Incorporated for a closed top self-contained ejector trailer with hydraulic roof opening.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone or Martell?
Martell.
Martell. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1249, authorize the supervisor to sign a contract extension for printing and mailing of the Hampton Bays Water District bills with Questmark Information Management Incorporated.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lobstadt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 1250 of 2021, authorize the supervisor to sign a contract extension for replacement parts for Chevrolet Grand Motors with Eagle Chevrolet. It's co-sponsored by Councilman Schiavone. Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1251, co-sponsored with Councilwoman Lofstad, Councilman Martell, and Councilman Schiavone, is to authorize the supervisor to sign a license agreement with Audio Enterprise Group. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, Jay. That was your resolution.
It doesn't matter. You read it. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. 2021-1252, authorize the supervisor to sign a time extension contract with West Hampton Beach School District for WQIP project.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. 1253 of 21, authorize the supervisor to sign consultant agreement with Susan Western to assist the Southampton Town Police Department to implement the Lexapol software system.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. 1254 of 21, authorize the supervisor to sign Parks and Recreation Agreement for fitness class.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 1255 of 2021 to authorize the supervisor to execute a master service agreement with CSE Holdings LLC.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1256 to award and authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with Easton Architects LLP for architectural and engineering services for Tupper Boathouse.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lobstadt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Resolution 2021-1257, reject bids and second notice to bidders for Southampton Volunteer Ambulance flashing beacon.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1258, co-sponsored with Councilperson Lofstad, is a notice to proposers for Lobster Inn capital project design.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lobstadt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Resolution 1259 of 21, co-sponsored with the rest of the board. It's a 2022 notice to proposers, RFP, to furnish and install an integrated parking management system.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I approve. 1260 of 21 accepts payment and amends the 21 adopted budget for police.
Second.
Seconded Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
I approved. Resolution 1261 of 21 adopts Town of Southampton travel reimbursement policy.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. 1262 of 21 amends the 21 adopted budget for town police for special events.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. 1263 of 21 amends 21 budget for various departments.
Second.
seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. All right, 1264 of 21 deposits money into escrow account for professional services in connection with the site plan, ZBA application, Bridge Petroleum.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. 1265 of 21 restores New York Round 5. I'm sorry, restore New York Round 5, accept Empire State Development Grant and allocate payment to owner of 20 Riverlake Avenue, Riverside as per grant disbursement agreement.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. This was that new building that got built on the circle there. They were submitted as part of a grant award for downtown revitalization. So this finishes the process there. So we had a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. 1266 of 2021 appoints, I have to do an amendment to this one, right? It appoints.
Yeah, you need to make a change. The change was submitted to the clerk's office, and that's
Yeah,
just.
so this is appointing George Mutu to the planning board, but it's technical.
Thakor. Thakor.
Spell that?
Phackor.
Phacko.
PH. T as in T.
T as in Tom. THACKOR.
OOR.
THACKOOR.
Correct.
All right, so why don't we do this then?
Thakor, and in parentheses, George
Yes.
Mutu.
All right. All right, so his legal name, I guess, is Thakor, but everybody knows him as George. So,
Correct.
okay, so I make a motion to amend Resolution 1266 to put George in parentheses, and in front of the word, each occurrence of the word George, we're going to put Thakor, THACKOOR.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve 1266 as amended.
Okay.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that was unanimous. He's appointed. That's filling the seat that was just expired, the one that Phil Keith had held.
Correct.
Just wanted to make that clear. All right, 1267 of 2021 authorizes additional funds for legal services by Vincent Toomey Esquire for 2021.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-1268, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone. So an amendment to Chapter 19.5 of the Town Code Public Safety Commission to enable the Public Safety Commission to have the power and duty to hold public hearings to consider an applicant's appeal based upon the denial or revocation of a peddler's license. This was the subject of the second public hearing we had.
And I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. So now that can be done even if the other law doesn't pass. It would still, it creates this appeals process of the current law. And then once the second law passes, obviously there's a slightly different set of rules, but they still go to appeal at the Public Safety Commission. But
Yeah,
right now- yeah. All right,
it's
so-
always been, we're changing where that appeal takes place to a
Right.
different, changing it to the Public Safety Commission.
Right, I guess my point is, I just want to make sure that this law doesn't depend on the other one passing first, which I know it
No,
does.
we have an appeals process in place already.
All right. All right.
Just change it where it's heard.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Does the Public Safety Commission know they're getting this power?
I did a presentation to the Public Safety Commission on this topic to explain to them the reasoning that led to us asking them to take it on. And they were very receptive to it and agreed that it was an appropriate place for the appeals to take place.
All right, excellent.
Correct.
All right,
I'll
so
echo that.
1269 of.
Thank you. That was Ryan. Ryan was agreeing with you, Jay, by the way.
Okay. All right, 1269 of 2021, it's a notice of adoption to amend chapter 330-37, industrial districts table of use regulations to include physical fitness facilities as a special exception use in the light industrial LI 40 and LI 200 zoning districts.
Second.
Jim, did we hear from Suffolk County Planning Commission on this and Planning Board?
I'm not sure. I can check to.
I think
check with
that
planning was that you.
I just want to make sure it's eligible for a vote.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if,
Want to table that, Supervisor?
If you just give me one moment,
Yeah.
I'm contacting my office. I'm certain that, you know, it was at the time you heard the hearing.
Right.
So I guess the main special exemption standard, besides the general standards, is the traffic, making sure that it's not going to have a negative impact on surrounding communities.
Because I know there was, and I'm not sure it's for this resolution, there was an opinion rendered by the planning board, but I haven't seen it. I don't know if it was for this resolution or not.
Did the planning board? do we
They
know what-
have the planning commission, but you do not have planning board from the town.
I don't think we should vote on it then until they've had time to weigh in.
Thank you, Kim.
So I'll make a motion to table 1269,
I'll second that.
seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Able to the next town board meeting?
Yeah, to the next meeting. Well, you know, we can, if we find different information before the end of this meeting, then we could still change it and
We
vote.
just looked it up. It's not there.
Yeah, if it's this resolution, I'm thinking about the planning board has an opinion.
Okay, 1270 of 2021. Excuse me, notice of adoption to amend Town Code Chapter 330-162, special exception, and 330-33, table of use regulations listing self-service storage facility as a special exception use in highway business zoning district.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. Once again, I'll ask the same question now. Planning Commission and Planning Board. I think we have an LD. I'm pretty certain from Planning Commission. I just don't know if we've heard from Planning Board on this one. Anybody? Sunday, do you know?
reach out to Janice as well.
What resolution number are you on? I'm sorry.
1270.
Okay, you still, all right.
Page 44. Did I skip one?
No, I thought you had, I thought I had. My mistake. I think the opinion from the planning board may have included this as well.
It did.
During work session, I believe we did cover the planning commission that they had adopted it, or at least we thought so.
Yeah, I think they had given us a local determination letter on both of these. All right, why don't we pass over this one?
Okay,
All right, we're gonna move on. We'll come
move
back.
to
to
1271.
Yes, there's no planning board on this notice of adoption,
We did not get an opinion.
not from the town's planning board, no.
All right, then I'll make a motion to table it again.
Maybe we need to check these things in advance too.
All right, so, motion to table 1270, second by Councilman Bouvier, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye. Approved. Well, not
Okay.
approved, tabled.
tabled. Okay, Town Board Resolution 2021-1271, co-sponsored with Councilperson Lobstad, is a resolution of adoption amending Town Code Chapter 123, building construction as it relates to effective period of building permits.
Seconded by Councilman Lofstad. I think this one's eligible to be voted on, so,
It is.
all right, any discussion?
Second was,
Me.
thank you.
Councilman Lofstad, yeah. All right, I'll call the vote, all in favor?
Aye,
Approved. All right, I think we're up to 1272 of 2021, amends the 2022 commercial applications fees schedule for the Department of Land Management, Building and Zoning Division.
second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
All right, approved. All right, 1273 of 21 amends the 2022 electrical applications fee schedule for the Department of Land Management, Building and Zoning Division.
second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye. Approved. 1274 of 2021 amends the 2022 residential applications fee schedule for the Department of Land Management, Building and Zoning Division.
second.
Abe second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. 1275 of 2021 authorize the supervisor to execute the 2021 amended groundwater monitoring protocol for the Sabonic Golf Course.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Okay, approved.
Town Board Resolution 1276 of 2021, approval of the 2021 junkyard permit for Wallace Fleming Junkyard.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lofstad. All in favor?
aye,
Aye. Approved. 1277 of 21 appoints Nicholas Jimenez to Public Works Capital Projects Manager in Engineering.
second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. This is sort of a new position. We have a lot of capital projects. We haven't had this position in our engineering department. It's going to be, I think, a really important position. And we'll be able to assist the town engineer in lots of different ways as well. And Mr. Jimenez has a resume almost as thick as our today's agenda packet. He's overseen so many different capital projects. I think he'll be a great asset to the town. So I'm pleased to vote in support of him becoming our first Public Works Capital Project Manager. All right, all in favor?
Aye,
I approved. 1278 of 2021 authorizes reimbursement for drug court judges' attendance at the Association of Drug Court Judicial Training Conference.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Aye, approved. All right, the next one is for the Brocart property, and we had changed it to notice it for an in-person meeting on January 11th. In light of the high prevalence of the Omicron variant, the large number of positive cases we are seeing, And the fact that the governor's executive orders allows Zoom meetings at least until January 15th, I'm going to amend this to go back to Zoom and not an in-person meeting. And I do want to get back to in-person meetings. We will do the organizational meeting in person, the swearing in person. But until we see the numbers go down, it's not just a matter of public safety, it's a matter of access. And it's hard for me to tell the public, if you want to weigh in at a hearing, you need to show up if they're uncomfortable being in a room. So I just feel at the moment, it allows more people to participate, ironically, by doing it online. So I'd like to make a motion to include Zoom language on the on resolution 1279. Same date, same time, but via Zoom. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, and I'm going to do this on all of these, so I won't have to give the explanation the next time. So I think I'll take the second from Councilman Martell. All in favor of amending the resolution? Okay. All right, now I'll make a motion to approve 1279 of 2021 as amended. It's a notice of public hearing on the acquisition of land of Brocart Development, Inc., and amend the CPF management and stewardship plan to include that property. And the hearing will be on January 11th via Zoom. This is a property sort of bordering the North Sea former landfill site up on the hill there. So there's a motion to approve as amended. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approved for hearing. All right, we are at resolution 1280 of 2021. I will make a motion to amend to add Zoom language. It's a notice of public hearing on the acquisition of lands of James J. Manusov and amend the CPF management and stewardship plan to include that property. It's approximately a half acre on 24 West Shore Drive in Southampton. And again, this is going to be January 11th at 1 o'clock. So I'm making a motion to amend to add Zoom language.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And now I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Okay. 1281 of 2021. I'm going to also make a motion to amend to add Zoom language. This one also is for January 11th at 1 o'clock. It's a notice of public hearing on the acquisition of lands of Irene Mahoney, Irene Mahoney Toutman, Linda Mahoney, and William Mahoney, and amend the CPF management and stewardship plan to include the property, those properties. I think it's 3 properties. So this is up
In
it's
North Sea.
approximately 2 acres, 2.07 acres up in North Sea. It's not far from where the Conklin property was, the White Cedar Swamp target area, in the Little Fresh Pond watershed. So I'll make a motion to amend to allow, to include Zoom language.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approved, and I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Same second.
Same second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. All right, 1282 of 21. Also for January 11th, public hearing. I'll make a motion to amend to include Zoom language. This is a notice of public hearing on the acquisition of lands of Susan E. Shmeda Credit Shelter Trust for water quality improvement purposes. And This is up in the Flanders Riverside area. This would be a CPF water quality acquisition. It's 20, almost 24 acres, 23.85 acres along that Reeves Bay area of, or Peconic Bay area up in the Flanders Riverside.
Is your motion to amend?
Motion to amend to allow, to include Zoom language, seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And so now it's amended. I'll make a motion to approve as amended,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Okay. Next one, I feel like it's a different hearing date.
The 25th, I think.
Yeah, this one is for January 25th at 1 PM, but I still need to make the motion. I'm going to assume this gets a little trickier because the governor's order doesn't extend beyond the 15th. So I'm assuming that that will be extended based on the prevalence of COVID. So I think we just need to take a chance that we amend it to make it a Zoom meeting. And if we're not able to have it via Zoom, then we will make necessary changes. So this is resolution 1283. It's a notice of public hearing to amend Town Code Chapter 330-248B entitled Canoe Place Inn, Canal and Eastern Properties Maritime Plan Development District, Section 3 entitled Permitted Uses, Section B entitled Canal Property Parcel 2, to add subsections 8A, B, C, and amend Section 7 entitled Conditions, subsection 7 and 12. All right, motion to amend to include Zoom language,
Second.
seconded by Councilwoman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, now I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Same second.
Same second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved as amended. We're getting there, folks. All right, Councilman Scavone, you're next.
Thank you. Town Board Resolution 1284 of 2021. This is a notice of public hearing to consider amending Article 5 of Chapter 298 of the Town Code to raise the income eligibility for senior citizens with limited income for real property tax exemptions.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier.
And this also has the town board, the language for the location in Town Hall on January 11th.
That's true.
No, we
So,
didn't- yeah, let's change your motion to amend it to
Right.
include Zoom. Same second by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor? Aye.
I now I'd like to
Now, a motion to
make a
approve.
motion to approve as amended.
John, you're seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Sunday, did you get all that?
I did, yes, thank you.
All right. 1285 of 2021, authorized acquisition of lands of Michael S. Aronoff, amending the CPF management and stewardship plan to include that property. This is 1.03 acres of land, 32 Huntington Lane in Flanders. And it's a $280,000 acquisition. And I believe it adds to other holdings in that area. In a sensitive area. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. All right, 1286 of 2021, authorized acquisition of lands of Dorothy Marcioch, and amend CPF management and stewardship plan to include that property. This is a 1/4 acre, 0.26 acres of land located at 17 Bayview Road in Remsenburg, Spion
Second.
area. Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. The cost is $80,000. So I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. 1287 of 2021, authorized acquisition of lands of Burden, Kathleen J. Kempler, and Robert E. Burden as co-trustees, and Robert E. Burden as sole trustees, and amends the Community Preservation Project Plan and the CPF Management and Stewardship Plan to include those properties. There are 3 properties, I believe. This is in Waterville, so the price is a little different. It's $5.8 million. It's waterfront property. It's 4.3 acres total. This is the piece that adjoins the triangular park that is already there. And this will be able to extend the park all the way to the waterfront and create a incredible waterfront park in the hamlet of Watermill. I think it's going to be a absolutely tremendous acquisition. So I'm very supportive of this, obviously. So do we have a second to acquire?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Somewhere out there, I hear Tim Marin and Steve Abramson cheering. So if they're watching. All right, 1288 is offered by Councilman Schiavone.
It's
Oh, sorry, Councilman Bouvier.
it's road, Town Board Resolution 2021-1288. It's a road review application for Bowie 9 Corporation, Suffolk County tax map as indicated on the resolution. Situated Hampton Bays is accepted.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Okay, let's go to the walk-ons. All right, resolution number 39064 is warrant number 24, capital number 24, CPF number 24, and payroll liability.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. All right, and the last resolution for the year, 39215. Hold on one second. Janice, you have something for me? Okay. All right, 39215, authorize the supervisor to sign a license agreement with Manna at Lobster Inn to allow the placement of a sign on town-owned property. I'll explain it. Let me get a second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. So at where the restaurant is, there years ago, not that many years ago, but there was always a sign near County Road 39 for that property. It let people knew it existed. There is a piece that we bought without CPF funds that could potentially be a road between, I guess it's Inlet Drive, and I think Shore Road or North Road, I guess it is, in that area. The proprietor wants to put a sign over there, just like, sort of very much like the old sign that had been at that location to help let people know that the restaurant is now open. This would just simply allow the supervisor, myself, to sign that license agreement. It'll be subject to Architectural Review Board, and will determine a fair market price for the placement of it. Obviously, if we build that road, the sign has to come out. That'll be clearly understood or relocated, but I don't know if, because that section, there's a 50-foot wide section there that is not CPF. We don't run into a CPF conflict with it. So does anybody have any questions about that?
I do. The sign that existed, I don't know if that conformed to our sign code, but I'm assuming that any sign gets put up there will conform to 330-204 of our code and other applicable sign codes.
Right.
In other words, it's not grandfathered with the old Lobster Inn sign. It's going to conform to our code.
Jim, can you comment on that?
I'm sorry again.
So the question was that the old sign wouldn't be grandfathered, it doesn't exist anymore. The new sign would have to conform to our sign code.
Yes, absolutely. And it will be as part of this resolution, it's subject to the approval of the architectural review.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Also, we may have some information on the two resolutions that were tabled, but I don't know that we'll be able to the change.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so let's do this vote first, and then we'll figure out if we can do that. So, we had a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, so, thank you. So now, Jim, we're gonna go back for a second because the planning board did give their report. We just got it today.
Yes, apparently it did not make the legislative file, and it's from the town clerk informed me. So I did speak with Janice. There were two, the planning board did act on both of the special exception amendments. Apparently it was not forwarded to the town clerk. So
We had no record of the filing. But,
Right.
you know, that doesn't mean it didn't happen and you can't
Sure.
vote. It just means it's not in the legislative file.
It just
It will be now. I just forwarded it to Kim, so thank you.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
but we
Needed.
need to consider their recommendations if they've made
Right.
any. So was there
Sure,
anything in
sure.
the recommendations?
Right, and if you want to hold it off, I can speak with Janice. There's no extreme urgency. Just for the record, I mean, the planning board did approve, had no issue with the special exception for the physical fitness facility. So if that was something the board wanted to move forward, they did have some issues with the proposal for the self-storage. So, or we could just hold it off to next time when the board would have the opportunity to review the planning board's recommendations, and then we can move from there. So,
Well, if they're okay with the physical fitness, I'd be willing to untable that and vote on it.
Well,
okay.
I mean, if they made comments to it, I'd certainly like to see those unless
Yeah, I
it
could
was.
send them over to you. I just received them myself, Councilman. So I just forwarded it over to, as far as the gym, the comments was essentially that they agreed with the proposal. But if you want to look at them, I was informed by Janice that everything can be held over to the next time unless, like I said, if you want to move forward with just the physical fitness facility.
So it was
They had no objection to that, and that was basically their comment.
no objection at all, then I'm fine, Supervisor, if you wanted to move that, but on the other one, I think we definitely need to see.
Yeah,
those.
absolutely. On the special exception for the self-storage, it's something we definitely would want to hold off from today.
All right, so which one is the physical fitness is on page 41?
Page
right?
41,
1269.
number 1269.
All right, so we had tabled it, but we haven't closed the meeting yet. So just, Jim, technically, I have to, how do I pull it now?
I just reopen, I guess, for
Or
consideration.
Sunday, what's the,
Vote to reopen or recall,
all
reopen.
right, so I want to make a motion to reconsider 1269 of 2021 or that we held earlier. Let's just do it this way. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Second by Councilman Martell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now I'd like to change what was a tabling to an approval. So I'll make a motion to approve 1269 of 2021,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Martell. Is there any discussion here?
No.
This would allow physical fitness in LI 40 and LI 200 as a special exemption use.
And I just read the planning board reports, so thank you, I support it.
Yeah, the planning
Although
board.
in the first whereas, it only mentions LI 40. It doesn't mention the LI 200 in there. I don't know if that makes a difference. Oh, and in the third whereas as well.
In our law?
No,
In the planning board's referral. It does mention it on the top, but
in the
I
title,
don't know if
yeah.
that was just an oversight and not in there.
Well, I mean, do we have reason to believe they didn't look at LI 200 zones?
In their resolve, they say that the town planning board adopts the comments and recommendations as described herein and directs that it be transmitted to the town board. But as councilperson Lustad points out, it doesn't reference the LI 200. So, It's probably an oversight, but if you want to hold.
Then we're back to tabling?
It was in the code that went over to them, right?
Yes, right. I think it's just an oversight in the whereas clauses, but
Mhm.
it is in their title. It's in the title of the town board referral of the resolution, so.
I would
But
say
what
we
we
could,
approved, it considers that zoning. But that was not in the report from the planning board. So
Well,
if an oversight, if we approve it today, it's still approves that zoning.
right, but I'm sure the planning board considered it in those two zones. LI 40 is light industrial 1 acre basically, and LI 200 is light industrial 5 acre. If they're saying they approved it for the LI 40, the smaller properties, then I imagine it certainly would be acceptable in the larger properties. But maybe you shouldn't assume. I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I believe it's in the title. LI 200 is in the title of the planning board referral that was sent over to us. I believe it's an oversight.
Yeah, I think
And I
so.
would move forward.
Yeah. All right. Laws can also be repealed later on too, and changed before somebody comes in with an issue. If the planning board just will now have to review these things, and if it doesn't meet the standards, they can also deny them if it feels it's going to negatively impact the area. So, all right. So there's a motion to approve and a second, I believe, by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's approved. So that is it. That's all, folks. Not to walk on, we got through the agenda. Again, Councilman Lofsted, thank you for your distinguished service. I'm going to miss you. Don't be a stranger. And to all of you, have a wonderful new year. Let's hope it's a good one, as John Lennon said. And let's all be as safe as we can and be certainly cognizant that the pandemic has not ended and there is a high prevalence of COVID, particularly the Omicron variant. I'll get used to saying it maybe in the new year, Omicron variant. So, but again, I want to wish you all just the best new year possible, and take the time to enjoy your families, and please be safe. And that goes to all of you out there, everybody in the community. And as Julie said earlier, a special thank you to our town workers who have worked throughout the pandemic, and deserve a day off, which they're going to get New Year's Eve. Town Hall will not be open. It'll be a full day off. And of course, New Year's Day as well. So, but I want to thank everybody who works for the town, and wish everybody in the community a Happy New Year. All right, any other?
Same to all of you. Be
Happy New
safe.
Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Peace out.
Oh,
Bye,
you go,
Joe.
girl.
We're waiting.
All right, hold on. Don't go anywhere. I still have to make a motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by Councilman
Councilwoman
Lofstad.
Lofstad.
I got work to do.
This is your last vote. Your last vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Year,
Year.
Charles.
Thank you, Charles. Same to you.
Bye,
Bye, Jill.
Julie.
Bye, everybody.
All the
We'll
best.
see you around, I'm sure.
Here.
See you guys next